You misunderstood Free Fallin' song. You thought Free Fallin' was just a breezy anthem about a carefree Californian drifting through life? You misunderstood. Behind that irresistible two-chord groove lies a portrait of yearning, cultural critique, and a quiet surrender. Part character study, part social sketch. Tom Petty and Lynne wrote a song that sounds easy, but once you listen closely, is full of moral tension. Who's free? Who's falling? And who's being stood up by the American dream? Free Fallin' appeared on Tom Petty's 1989 solo album Full Moon Fever, a record that marked a creative surge for Petty outside the Heartbreakers group dynamic. The song was co-written with Lynne of Electric Light Orchestra and is one of Petty's most enduring and instantly recognizable tracks. Lynne contributed a hands-on production approach, sparse chiming guitars, clean vocal doubling, and Tom Petty brought his knack for economical, image-rich lyrics. The song reportedly began as a character sketch. Petty wanted to write about life in Southern California, the small social scenes, the girls who hang out on Venice Boulevard and dream of something bigger. Petty's lyricist instincts, concrete details, short lines, and a wry narrator, combined with Lynne's pop smarts to produce a song that is deceptively simple on the surface and loaded with observational detail underneath. Importantly, Petty didn't intend the track as autobiography. The protagonist is a character, an archetype of the LA dreamer, seen through an outsider's sympathetic but sometimes wounding lens. The sparseness of the arrangement and the chorus's singability helped the song cross over, making it a radio staple and a cultural shorthand for a certain LA vibe. Free Fallin' works because it lives in a tension, the exhilarating sense of release in the chorus, and the quietly critical, observant verses. There's no single correct interpretation, but several overlapping meanings make the song complex and emotionally rich. Below are the main layers to hold in your head when you listen. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. A character study. The Girl on the Boulevard. The song's most literal reading is as a portrait of a woman who belongs to a certain Southern California scene. She's partly devout, loves Jesus and America too, and partly restless. She's good in conventional terms, but also yearning. Petty paints her as someone split between loyalty and escape. She loves family and faith, but is seduced by possibility, rebellion, or the shiny distractions of LA. That ambivalence is central. The protagonist is not simply free, she is in motion, caught between roles. Because Petty writes in economical strokes, the woman becomes iconic. She stands in for any person balancing obligation and desire. The narrator's voice registers affection and a cool distance. He watches more than participates. The chorus might sound like solidarity, I'm free, free fallin', but scale back and you hear a man observing someone he both admires and can't rescue. Freedom versus drift, romanticizing unmoored life. The chorus's declaration, I'm free, free fallin', can be read as ecstatic liberation, but take free fall literally, falling without control. Petty's phrasing teases a darker interpretation. What looks like freedom may be merely lack of anchors. The song asks whether being free in the American sense, untethered, mobile, uncommitted, is actually freedom or a form of drifting. The exhilaration comes with a price, vulnerability, instability, and a risk of emotional misalignment. Petty's narrator seems both caught up in admiration and concerned. He admires the woman's independence, but also hints at a cost. In that sense, the song is ambivalent. It celebrates an ideal and quietly questions its aftermath. Social sketch. California as possibility and mirage. Free Fallin' is a cultural portrait of late 20th century Southern California. Palm trees, highways, small-town religiosity, next to a culture of celebrity and reinvention. Petty riffs on how American culture blends the sacred and the commercial, loves Jesus and America too, collapses nod to faith and nationalist mythology into one flippant line. The song observes how young people attempt to navigate identity in this environment. The city is full of promise, but also an engine of commodified longing. That social reading suggests the track is as much critique as elegy. Petty's narrator seems to witness how people are shaped by place, the lure of glamour, the pressure to rebrand yourself, the cycles of reinvention that can feel hollow, love and loss, the relationship angle. On another level, the song can be read as the narrator's confession about a relationship, someone who mattered, now absent, someone who chose freedom over stability. The chorus, when heard as first-person confession, "I'm free, free fallen," reads like acceptance or resignation. The narrator may be saying, "I'm letting go, I won't fight." In this sense, the song is a bittersweet coming to terms, love that cannot be fixed. The narrator's attempt to achieve his own freedom by releasing attachment. Myth and archetype. The girl as cultural symbol. Finally, the woman in the song operates as cultural archetype, the California girl who is at once idealized and misunderstood. Petty and Lynne crafted her with details enough to feel real, but vague enough to be symbolic. She becomes a type, so the song moves beyond any single story and becomes a communal reflection on what freedom looks like when it's lived under Hollywood lights. So what does free fallen really mean? It means 1,000 small truths stacked together. The exhilaration of letting go, the risk of losing your moorings, the observation of a culture that mixes faith and fame, and the quiet resignation of someone who watches a life drift away. The song is not a sermon for or against freedom. It's a sympathetic, ambivalent portrait of what freedom looks like when it collides with human need. That complexity is what keeps Free Fallin' alive. Its chorus invites sing-alongs, but its verses whisper complications. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. This opening couplet sets the song's paradox. The woman is good in the socially approved sense, faithful to family and religion. Yet Petty's apposition of Jesus and America compresses piety and patriotic identity into a single wry observation. That line does a lot of work. It establishes character and hints at the cultural contradictions she inhabits. She's not an iconoclast. She's embedded in mainstream values, even as she reaches for something beyond them. She's been around the world and she's been around the world. Paraphrase refrain. Petty's repetition of travel imagery signals worldly experience, but the line in context suggests not just geography, but exposure to experiences that complicate her good girl baseline. Travel here equals possibility, but it can also equal disconnection from roots, and it's a long day living in Reseda. By placing the character in Reseda, a San Fernando Valley neighborhood, Petty grounds his portrait in specificity. Reseda is a modest, suburban slice of Los Angeles, hardly glitzy. This local color makes the song plausible. The dreamer isn't from Hollywood. She's someone shaped by ordinary suburbia, making her choices more poignant. The lyric reminds listeners that the LA dream doesn't belong only to the wealthy. Now I'm free, free fallen. Here's the line everyone remembers. The double meaning is crucial. Free reads as liberation. Free fallen implies lack of control. Petty's vocal delivery, open, almost resigned, balances the two. The line's singability masks its irony. Freedom feels good until you realize you're falling without a parachute. I'm telling you so, I'm telling you so. This repeating phrase in the bridge reads as a narrator's assertion, either a plea, a warning, or a resignation. It's as though the speaker has tried to convey something to the woman that she either ignores or refuses. Perhaps a desire for stability, or a caution about the perils of drifting. The line underscores the narrator's distance. He watches, he warns, but she acts on her own. You put your mama down and you're gone get a good-looking boy. This lyric can read as judgmental. It suggests the woman's moves are performative, dropping old ties to chase novelty. Petty's narrator both admires and critiques, implying that the pursuit of freedom can come at the cost of fidelity. The final refrain and fade out. Musically, the song ends by repeating the chorus and letting the guitars and backing vocals linger. The effect is to turn the chorus into a mantra. After listening to the verses, you hear the chorus differently. It's less celebratory and more elegiac, a repeated breath that says release and loss at once. Tom Petty discussed Free Fallin' in interviews as a character piece rather than autobiography. He described writing from observation, snapshots of life in LA, and said the song's protagonist was a combination of a lot of girls he'd seen on Venice Boulevard or around the valley. Lynne, who co-wrote and co-produced the track, contributed to its uncluttered pop sheen and appreciated the contrast between direct lyrics and melodic simplicity. Petty often emphasized that the song's charm came from its honest, unsentimental gaze. He wasn't ranting about Los Angeles, he was painting it as it appeared to him, glamorous and precarious. He also acknowledged enjoying the ironic distance the narrator keeps from his subject, an affection tempered with realism. Free Fallin' remains popular because its surface is inviting and its depths are rich. You can hum the chorus and feel good, or you can sit with the verses and feel slightly unsettled, in the best way. Tom Petty and Lynne wrote a song that holds both celebration and caution. Freedom is beautiful, but it often comes wrapped in loss. The track endures because it understands that truth. We're drawn to flight, even when the landing is unknown. If you listen next time, don't just sing the chorus, lean into the verses. You'll hear a portrait of a place and a people, and you'll feel the paradox Petty loved to write about, that American freedom sometimes looks like falling. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting discoveries.